All got to press your little yes, that's okay button to me recording. So good evening and a very warm welcome to module 1 of our course Step Up to Success. So I'm very excited that this has finally come together. It's been an idea for a little while of mine, and I really want to thank you all for basically being my guinea pigs. I'll be completely honest, you are guinea pigs here on this course. So that means that this is going to be fairly fluid. It's a lovely small group, which means that we can really help and support each other, which is really important to me. And I suppose my main goal really, well, 3 goals that I have for this course, and I'll be interested to hear what yours are as we go through, is firstly that you mostly enjoy it. And I say mostly because I think there might be times when some of the things I say make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. So can I have your permission that that's okay to do that? Because sadly, sometimes we have to be a little bit uncomfortable in order to realize the changes we have to make for better success. Does that make sense? So, you know, sometimes uncomfortable is good. So if you feel uncomfortable, don't run away. Don't run away. Let's tackle it head on. Let's work out what those feelings are all about and see if we can help. So secondly, you know, if you are on here this evening, the chances are you're here because there's something in life or something about your current business that isn't quite what you'd like it to be. Okay, isn't quite where you'd like it to be, or isn't quite doing what you'd like it to do. Otherwise you probably wouldn't be here this evening. So I suppose one of my second goals is that we try and delve a bit deeper and find out what it is that needs to change, okay, to help you get the success that you want and you deserve in life. And thirdly, that hopefully by the end of 6 weeks, we actually make some changes. Okay, so, you know, that's sort of my goal. You're all going to have very different goals for what you get out of this. And that's what we're going to find out as we go along. But be prepared to stretch yourself. Be prepared to think outside the box. Be prepared to maybe see things a little bit differently. All right, because that's all okay. And what you will find is each module each week is different. It's about different subjects. So some of them are going to relate more to you than others. Some of you are going to be much more useful than others. There's probably something you saw in the modules that you thought that one would be good, but maybe you didn't think that about all of them. So that's fine too. All right. So some of it's really going to, you know, hit home hard. Some of it might not. But I think you'll find that all of them sort of interlink. And actually, it will be a very useful process to go through the 6 weeks anyway. This evening's I was going to say it's quite an easy one. It's one where we need to start, because I constantly ask myself, oh, Sue, you're here now and you can hear, fantastic. I was worried that you weren't going to be able to hear, brilliant. I constantly question myself all the time, but I also constantly question, why are some people just more successful in life than others? You know, why do some people just seem to sort of glide through life, you know, achieving things, and other people really don't? And I'm absolutely convinced, and having done lots of research and lots of reading about this over the years, that the number one reason comes down to your mindset. Your mindset is absolutely the thing that determines your success in business. So tonight is mostly about having a little think about mindset, about some of these mind monkeys that get in our way and stop us doing things. And then talking about some sort of basic goals. But tonight mostly is about you really realizing that it's okay to be wherever you are now. I'm just going to start from where you are. All right. You're all at different stages, levels. You've got different businesses. It doesn't matter. You're going to start from where you are, a bit of a draw a line in the sand, and just see if we can really find out what you really want. Because I know that most people, when they set goals, even though in our business, I know most of you, not all, but a lot of you are from utility warehouse or for some sort of network marketing background, where we're very good about talking about goals and what we want to achieve. And we write these big vision boards and we write this big stuff up. But mostly at the back of your mind, you're only writing those goals based on what you actually believe you can achieve, based on the activity you're having or the results you're having and the activity you're doing in your business now. Does that make sense to some of you? That, you know, you might write these big goals because people tell you to, but actually deep down you're really thinking, oh, I doubt if that's going to happen, because you can't quite believe it will based on your current set of circumstances. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, you can do anything that you want to do, but you may have to think about things in a slightly different way. You may have to be more honest about what your skills are, what you're good at, and what you like doing, and all that sort of thing. So why am I doing this now? I mean, this is quite important because this might give you some thoughts about other things that you could be doing. And really, you know, most of you do know my background. I've always been quite entrepreneurial. I've always been self-employed ever since I left school. Sort of fell into utility warehouse 12 years ago. Absolutely love it. You know, love that business more than anything, because I think it gives us so many tools to use in life, so many opportunities, so many relationships you build and everything else. Pretty much, you know, worked my way to a pretty high level in that. And what I've realized is there's bits of the business I really love doing and bits of the business that I don't like doing so much. And I think that's fine. It's fine to be honest about that. And the bits I really love is training. I love presenting. I love motivating people. I love pushing people and helping them inspire to be more than they thought they could be. And that's where this year, after having such a mental year last year in lockdown and spending so many hours on Zoom doing the same presentation over and over and over again, which a lot of us did, I sort of got to the point was like, that was okay, but I wanted to do something more. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to have more impact on more people. And I wanted to also sort of change a few things lifestyle wise here. And what I did in the summer was through networking and through associations, mostly that came through the business originally, was I met some really cool people that were doing some fun things and doing some online courses and doing memberships and stuff like that. And I thought, actually, why not? That looks like a good thing to do. So I've actually, you know, invested some money. I've been doing some training, and hence this is the sort of result of it. So it's quite, you know, as I said, it's fluid, it's new, it's something different, and I've really enjoyed putting it together. So I hope you do too. So I have got some slides just to sort of keep me on track, because you know what I'm like. I'm going to be wandering off all over the place. So I'm going to pop those up. We'll have a few slides. We're going to talk as we go through it. I don't like it when the slides are out because I can't see everybody. So I'll just sort of go through the slides. You can use the chat facility if there's anything pops into your mind that you want to as we go through. But definitely at the end, in fact, I might come in and out the slides a bit when we get to some stuff that we want you to write down. But definitely at the end, you know, there'll be a chance for a Q&A. And just to go backwards a little bit before we dive into the slides, how the course is going to run, I think most of you know. So 7:30 on a Thursday is the sort of training module, if you like, every week for the next 6 weeks. On a Monday night at 7, that's much more, it's not so much me training as such. That's going to be a goal setting each week. Now we're going to talk about, on Monday next week, we'll get a bit deeper into goal setting to kick off the session. But my idea for that is that you actually all sort of buddy up a bit of accountability, and that you actually set weekly goals. So they go from Monday to Monday, because that's something that we don't do very often. We set the big goals, or we set our own goals, but to have an accountability on a weekly basis for 6 weeks that you're working together as a group, I think will really help you define what you can and can't change in a week, what you can and can't do in a week, and how sometimes the very small things consistently will make a difference. Does that make sense? So that's what Monday's about. So we're going to start it with a bit of goal setting. Depending on how many people come on live, we will probably go around and actually have an individual little chat off everybody about what, you know, what their week's been like and what their goals are. And then we will definitely put you into breakout rooms so that you have the opportunity to get to know a couple of people in the group better, and to perhaps become a bit more, you know, accountability partners yourselves. All right. And there's obviously different spin-offs you can do from that. So Thursday night's the sort of training. Monday night is that bit of networking, bit of goal setting and accountability. I will record both, but obviously the Monday night, it's one of those things that'll be a bit like a haircut. You're going to have to be there really to get the most out of it. The Thursday night, the training you will be able to catch up on, but obviously it is better if you're here live. Okay, so bear with me while I try and make technology be my friend this evening, which it's not particularly being already. So let's see what I can find. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to have to move your lovely faces because you're right where I need you to be. Okay, can you all see that slide okay? I can see Julie and Barry and Karina, so you're going to have to be my nodding dogs this evening to let me know that you can hear me and that you know what I'm talking about. So there we are. So first of all, that's a good question, actually. Step Up to Success, the name of the course sort of came from Roxy and I chatting as we were driving along in the car one night, because I couldn't think what to call it. And the Step Up to Success is a little bit of play on words there, because it says, are you ready to step up? So obviously stepping up might mean that you're stepping up nearer to success. So I just got to let somebody in. Good evening, Julie, if you can hear me. Warm welcome to module 1. So step up to success might mean You know, are you ready to step up and make a change? Or it could, you know, step up as in get closer to what your idea of success is, or it could mean, are you now ready to step up? And step up in that way means, are you ready to do what it takes to change your life and whatever it is that you want to happen. So it's a bit of a play on words there. I quite like it, but we'll see how that flows as we get through the course. We may change it for next time. So here we are. This is the first bit that I said I'd probably make you feel a bit uncomfortable. So we're straight into it now, straight into it on slide 1. If you want some things to change, you have to change some things. That lovely, you know, saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And that is so true in life. And I think it's very easy for us sometimes to keep wondering if things could be more, but not actually really prepared to do anything about it. So if you always do the same thing, you'll always get the same results. So what we're going to start with working on a little bit today is to try and get some different daily habits. So very, very simple daily habits that I'm hoping you will start to put in place right from, let's say tomorrow. I'll give you today off, but you might want to start it tonight. Just to start to get things in practice, to get your mindset in a more stable place and a place of more excitement, because that's really, really going to help you. Hopefully you have got your workbook if you did manage to print it off, but if not, just notepad and pen, because there's some stuff coming out that we do want you to scribble on just very, very soon. In fact, pretty much on this next slide. So I was thinking about the word momentum. Again, it's lots of us in our business talk about momentum in business, but actually this is more about momentum in life as well. Because momentum, you know, to get real momentum in a business is when there's a group of people all working together to want to achieve the same thing. That's what momentum means in most of our type of business. However, momentum in life is also important, because you never stay still. That's very true. Whether you're talking about your weight, your health, your business, your life, your happiness, your success, you don't stand still. You're either going forwards or backwards. And if you don't do anything about anything for a prolonged period of time, you will find yourself actually slipping backwards. So I've come up with this for momentum, and these are just a few of the words that I think if you were to put all of this stuff into practice on a daily basis and get into a routine of doing this, then actually things would start to change. So this is on your workbook on module 1, where it says creating a winning mindset. So if you want to write in there the things that we go through now, but you know, don't limit yourselves to just these words, because you might think of some other words that are appropriate. So for me, every session will come back to mindset at the beginning, because if you are not in an open mindset wanting to learn, and if you can't challenge some of these challenges that are going to come into your mind on a daily basis, you are going to end up being stuck. I was just talking to somebody this evening about business and about how many of us, when you start a business, you're super excited because you see the opportunity. So this works for these first 2 words here, mindset and opportunity. So you start a business, you're really excited because you see the opportunity. And to begin with, you think, I think I could do this because I know he's done it, she's done it, they've done it. You know, I've seen other people do this and be successful at it. So I'm excited. I think I can do it because they can do it. And then what happens is when you start to get into the mundane tasks that running that business successfully involves, and you don't perhaps get success at the rate you hoped, that's when your mindset monkeys really kick in. And that's where most people quit in business. And we're talking about entrepreneurs generally here tonight. I don't mind what business you're thinking of, because as I said, I want to stretch you and I want you to think of other ways of bringing money into your life, because there are lots and lots of different ways. So it might not be just on your current business, but whatever it is, it will be some sort of mental challenge that stops you pushing yourself forwards. And then what happens is people just give up. They just give up and say, that's too difficult. It didn't work quick enough. I'm not prepared to keep going. So certainly mindset is really important. Now, over opportunity means that if you are open and if you keep a positive mindset, opportunities do come your way. They really, really do. They find you if you are open to them and keep, concentrating on them. So we're going to talk about lots of different opportunities. And then M for money. So next week, I'm really looking forward to next week, because we are going to get into a lot of money mindset issues and things, which is really, really fascinating. And there's certainly things that I've uncovered about myself that I didn't know till I've done this work quite recently, and it has made a difference. So if you would like more money in your life, next week is going to help with that in various ways. Now, E for effort, this is the bit as well. It's all very well having the most positive mindset in the world, doing your affirmations, reading the law of attraction 69,000 times. If you're not prepared to put any effort in and actually do the do on a daily basis, nothing will happen. So effort is about, you know, the do. It's about the consistency. So write the word consistency there, because I don't know if I mention it again tonight. And consistency is absolutely key for success in business. And so really going to think about that. Consistency, consistent effort. N for nurture. We're going to talk about building an audience this evening, which might, not this evening, in one of the modules, which might be something that you're not familiar with particularly, but it's really clever, and it's going to bring a group of people together that all want what you have and all have common interests to yourself as well. And it's about nurturing those people, getting to know them, know, like, and trust, and all that sort of stuff, which is really important in business. The T is be thankful. And we're going to talk about gratitude on a daily basis as well in a minute, because that is something, I'm sure you've all read it. A lot of you would have probably read The Miracle Morning and things like that. But gratitude does make a big difference, because what you focus on, so I just let somebody else in, this might mess up my slides. What you focus on, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you focus on things that you're grateful for, and we're going to touch on this in the money bit next week, yes, more things to be grateful for will come into your life. If you focus on the negative.
In your own.
Oh, Jackie, could you mute yourself, please? Oh. Come in, sorry, and I can hear you. Thank you, sorry. So if you focus on the good will happen. If you focus on the bad will happen. So by just writing down a few things you're thankful for every day, that does really focus your brain in the right way. U for unique, be authentic, be absolutely you, because while I said you might want to change some things, we don't want to change you. You don't have to change. You are you. You're unique and you're brilliant, and you can do this. It's just working out maybe some of your daily actions that need to change, and definitely the manifest. So that is the putting all of that into action on a daily basis, and the universe will deliver things back to you, but it won't unless you do all of the other things. So you've got to keep doing the things. It's like I said in a training the other day, you know, if you're prepared to knock on 12 doors a day, and I don't mean virtually knock, I mean, you know, step up to the job and do some work, the universe will knock on another 1,000 for you. And I really believe that, but not if you just sit there prepared, you know, waiting for it to fall into your lap. Okay, now hopefully we'll move on. There we go. So obviously we've got a 6-week course now. We're starting at the end of October. This is going to take us up to beginning of December. Then we've got that lovely thing called Christmas, in which I don't mean in the way. We're all going to celebrate and have a lovely Christmas and make the most of it this year, because we might actually get to see some people properly and stuff. But I thought that, you know, doing a course at this end of the year, yes, we want to get some stuff achieved within the 6 weeks, but why not really think about what we could achieve next year by putting some things into place now and some consistent actions. So just while we are on this page, if you have got your workbooks printed out, just go to that page where it says first things first. How are you feeling right now about your business? If you haven't got your workbook printed out, just write that down on your notepad. How are you feeling right now about your business? And let's just do that right now. Just take a minute now just to write down some stuff that comes into your head about your business right today. So this could be your current business now. It could be if you've got several businesses, it could just be how you're feeling about maybe money coming into your life or whatever it is, but write some stuff down. How are you feeling right now? And that can be emotions. You know, you could write, you know, frustrated, excited, disappointed, whatever it is, just write it down. So this is from the workbook. It's not on the screen. Sorry to confuse you, but it says in your workbook, how are you feeling right now about your business? Some of you will have a lot to write. Some of you might only have a little bit to write. It's fine. And obviously this is something you can carry on with after tonight, but I just thought it would be quite good to get the wheels moving. Barry and Karina, just give me a thumbs up when you want me to move on. I know you're both scribbling away, I can see, which is good if I can't see anyone else. Okay. Okay, got to start there. Brilliant. Well done. So let's just tackle the next one as well. And again, this will change definitely as things go through the 6 weeks. But how would you like to feel about your business by the end of the course? I'm not saying necessarily what would you like your business to be achieving, because I'm not a magician. We've got 6 weeks, but how would you like to feel about your business at the end of the course? So maybe there'll be some stuff, some strategies, some things that you can put in place that make you feel more confident or more excited or whatever it is. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but that's the sort of thing. How do you feel that we could make a transformation over a few weeks by helping with some daily habits and stuff? Okay. Someone's put something in the chat. I'm just going to see what it is. If I do, I might lose my slides, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, well done. So Antonia's put some stuff in the chat, which is brilliant. More organized, focused, and on board. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Super job. We'll come back to some of that stuff at the end as well. Okay, so we're going to have a little look at 2022. And I'm going to talking about your purpose to start with. So this is where I want you to allow yourself to think a little bit outside the box, because you may ask yourself that question and actually question the business or the current daily activities that you're doing and not be able to quite come up with an answer. So I just want you to keep an open mind on this one. But your main purpose, why do you do what you do? Now, actually, when we normally talk about a why in goal setting or a why in our business, it's very much about why we do it for ourselves, as in why, what do we want to achieve from it? You know, why are we doing it because we want to get a holiday or whatever? This is slightly deeper than that, because your purpose in life will not be for you to just get yourself a holiday or qualify for a turkey or sign up some customers or something like that. I doubt, unless you're absolutely passionate about helping people in your particular business, whatever it is, you might well be. But just think about your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Because if we can get you aligned with your purpose, your mission, and your values on this slide, you will find you will just fly through your business, because business work will never seem like work. And that's what the ultimate goal is, because you really love what you do and you work out the reason why you love it. As I said, you'll find those consistent daily actions are absolutely easy to do because you'll want to do them. Don't expect to get all the answers here tonight. I know I'm probably stretching your brains a bit already in some ways, but why do you do what you do? Then the next is your mission. So what do you want to achieve? And again, don't just think about yourself in this mission. What would you like to achieve? I would love to help more people achieve more from their home-based businesses so that they can live a lifestyle of choice. You know, that's my mission, is to help people have a lifestyle of choice, because I'm so passionate about the fact that we're only on this planet once, and I see so many people living a life that they're not happy with, and I question that, and I want to try and help more people live a life of their choice. And you know, again, so we'll think about how that's going to achieve. And then the bottom one really is really key, because your core values, and this is sort of how you want to behave, how you want to treat people, how you want to show up in life. If your business doesn't match your values, it doesn't matter how big your why is, you're probably again going to be in some sort of conflict, and that's not going to work. So if you have, take a screenshot if you like of those 3 questions, because that is too deep for you all to have answers for that now. So if you either write them down or take a screenshot, because that's sort of something we need to pop back every couple of weeks and check in and just see how you're doing with that bit, because it will make a huge difference to how you show up for yourself. So when we're talking about now getting more prepared for business, getting more focus is absolutely key, which is why we need to work out what it is you want to focus on. There's a few really obvious things. Next week, we are going to talk a bit more about time planning and time blocking. But in terms of making the most of this next 6 weeks, there's a few things that would be very sensible to do. Firstly, block out Thursday night at 7:30 in your diary, and secondly, block out Monday at 7 o'clock in your diary if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have, but get that blocked out. As we go through the goal, the first big goal setting session will be at the beginning of Monday night at 7. And we'll talk a bit more then about time blocking and how to do that, because there's no point setting yourself a weekly goal that you absolutely can't achieve because you don't have enough time in your diary to do it. So it's almost like turning your goals into a big to-do list, writing down everything that you want to achieve over a 7-day period, and then looking at your diary and blocking in times to achieve it. And there are times when this time of night is probably my worst time of night to have energy and deliver a good training. I'm very much personally, I'm better in the morning. So mid-morning, early morning, I get up really early to mid-morning is when I tend to do my calls. I tend to do my creative stuff because my energy levels are much higher then. So this goes as deep with this time blocking and batching, actually to work out when are you at your best, when are you going to achieve best, and putting your tasks into timescales that are going to suit you best. Because, if you know that you're really lethargic in the evenings and you say you're going to make some calls in the evenings, and then, it's a rubbish day and the fire's beckoning and you want to go and sit down, and then you make a cup of tea and then you accidentally pour a glass of wine instead or something like that. And then that whole session's ruined. Well, don't set it for then. Make sure you set it for earlier in the day. It really does make a huge difference. And the other thing I'd like to mention, to be successful in a home-based business does take organization. It does take massive discipline, but it also takes the right space to work in. And that can be really hard when you're working from home. So give that some real consideration, because you need to find, even if it is just a corner, it doesn't have to be a big space, but put some nice stuff around you and work somewhere that you feel. I love working here because in the daytime, I'm looking straight out across the fields, Glastonbury Tor, cows in the field. That makes me very productive because I love, it's very, very quiet here as well. So I'm lucky with that. But try and find somewhere that is really helpful to your mindset when you're doing those tasks and work as well. Because if you don't want to be in the place you're in, that will cause all sorts of blocks. So I hope that makes sense. And we're going to come back, I say, to cover more of that with time batching and stuff as we go on. Right. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty bit. And this will definitely come up in the sort of Q&A bit in a bit. I can sort of read the chat. So it would be quite good if you were to put some things in the chat here, because these are just a few of the self-limiting beliefs which everybody has at different times, different stages, and it might be about different things. And you can't run away from these, they're real. What we need to do is train our brains to react to them in a different way. And the way we do that is by actually, first of all, working out, I'm going to ask you to think of 3. So which of your 3 biggest demons out of the ones on here, or it might be something else. So if it was out of the ones on here, which 3 of those would you say are your biggest challenges? What trips you up the most? So I'll just sort of talk through them a little bit as you're thinking and talking, and then we're going to talk about how to tackle them. So imposter syndrome, I am not good enough. That shows up actually in lots and lots of different ways. But we all get it. Everybody has this, and our confidence levels can change, again, to do with our energy levels, to do with how we're feeling and all that type of thing. But thinking you're not good enough is something that's very, very common. I definitely have had imposter syndrome thinking about delivering this course, and then I think, hang on a minute, if I'm talking about stuff that I've done and achieved, then absolutely I've got the right to share it, and I'm sure I've got some things that will be valuable. You've all got amazing stories, you've all got amazing skills and amazing talents, and the key to success in business is to find the things that you are good at, that you're confident in, and do that a lot, and maybe even share that with other people. All right, so you are absolutely good enough. Don't let yourself go down that path of feeling like you're an imposter in your own town, because you're not. Fear of rejection, that is absolutely real, and actually it's a basic human instinct. When you realize that, I think that helps you get over that hurdle with it, because we do not want to be rejected from the pack, because that puts us actually in danger. So, you know, right back to our ancestral history, if we were sent out of the tribe or the pack or whatever you want to call it, and you're on your own, you were in danger. So our fear of people rejecting us and saying no to us is absolutely real. However, we are not in danger of being killed when somebody says no to us because they don't want our product or service. So it's absolutely trying to get down to the nitty gritty of why do you feel like that? It's not real. It's not even a real, it is a real fear, but it's not useful. It doesn't serve you well. And I always do the whole, you know, remember the hostess on the plane going down the middle, would you like a cup of tea or coffee? No, thanks. You know, that is literally, it's a no, thank you. And I don't expect she goes home and cries about it every night. She's just literally saying no, thank you to whatever it is you're offering her. We do that all the time. But somehow when it's something we're offering people, we suddenly take it super personal when they say no, thanks. So we've really got to tackle that. Fear of failure. We've got to turn that on its head, because it shouldn't be fear of failure. It should be embracing failure, because you only learn by failure. You know, when you're learning to walk as a baby, you fall over a lot, or as a toddler, maybe baby between toddler, whatever age they are, they start walking, and you fall over a lot. You know, you fall over pretty much every time you try and walk. So you could say that's a failure every time, but of course it's not. It's you learning a way that succeeds. So don't be afraid to fail. Fear of failure is the biggest procrastination thing in the world, isn't it? Because if you think, oh, I'm going to fail, oh, I better not do it then, and then you're trying to be perfect all the time, and nobody's ever perfect. You know, this course is not perfect. If I'd waited till I thought this was going to be perfect, it never would have happened. And, you know, if it fails, will it fail? I'll have learned a lot, won't I? You know, we'll have had some fun along the way. How can it fail? You know, so it's about really coming back, stripping that back and asking yourself, what is it you're really scared of? And actually, it's the next one down, because the failure actually is probably not about you failing. It's you worrying what other people think of you if it's not a success. So that's the big thing, is we worry far too much about what other people think of us. And do you think that somebody that says to you they don't want to join your business, or they don't want what you're offering, are going to come around and pay your bills when you're short of money? No, they're not. You know, why do we care so much about what other people think of us? Most people that think you shouldn't be doing something, it's because they don't want to do it themselves. And if you're making a success of something by doing something out of their comfort zone, they would rather pull you back down with them and say, no, stay here with me where I feel safe, because if you do it, I might have to. And I think when I understood that, that stopped me worrying half as much about what other people think of you, because please don't, you're all awesome and unique and brilliant, and you don't need to worry about that. Lack of belief, that's lack of confidence, isn't it, really? And that can be a thing, you know, for you when you're starting out. And the other one is comparing yourself with others. I will never be as good as them. You know, that's something that's really common. Right, so I can see a few bits in the chat. So I asked you for your top 3, if you like, if the chat will work. Public humiliation. Okay, Julie. Yeah, okay. So that, I suppose, is really number 4, isn't it, in a big way? But publicly, you know, publicly being humiliated. I get that. However, again, does it matter? I know it matters to you at the moment, but does it really matter what they think? Kate said 1, 4, and 5. Yeah. Okay, 1's a big one, coming up quite a lot, isn't it? 1, 4, and 6 with Kate. So Kate, you are already better than them, whoever they are. So you mustn't think that. Lorraine, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, so 4 is a really big one, isn't it? Most people are saying 4. So that's something, right? I got to write that down. We've got to work on that. People think of me. We'll have to get you all dancing out naked in the street or something. Push you out of your comfort zone so far that actually it really doesn't matter anymore. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm just going to shut the chat now. Almost everyone seems to have 1. Imposter syndrome. Oh, yeah. All of the above, Jackie. Come on, we can do this. Yeah. Fabulous. Okay. So that was good. I didn't even mean to swap slides, and it did it for me. That's clever. I don't know what I touched then, but anyway, that was good timing. So how are we going to tackle that? So you've got your 3 things. What we need to do now is we need to retrain your brain to not believe those 3 things anymore. And do you know what? It's as simple as that. That's how crazy the mind is and mindset is. Because yes, I could ask you to do massive things to push yourself way out of your comfort zone, you know, so that you don't worry anymore what people think of you. But actually you could, much more simple than that, is just simply stop caring. And you know, you're going to say you can't just do that, but you absolutely can. So we've got on your workbook now, there's a page that says which 3 affirmations are you going to tell yourself every day from now. So pick the ones obviously that you had. And this is just some suggestions. This is not, you know, I'm not putting words into your mouth again. This is just some suggestions that you actually need to physically write down to stop yourself from thinking those things. So I am good enough. I am brilliant at what I do. And, you know, I don't want you to just write them down. I know people say write them down and have them all around the place. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and at least, well, no, for the next 6 weeks, come on, you can do that. It'll take you about a minute a day, is to write them down every day and say them out loud every day. So it's not a case of just write them down once and just have them stuck around the house so you see it. It's got to be more than that, because you want to retrain your brain, and you can't do that if you're just looking at it. So if you said, I am good enough, I'm brilliant at what I do, twice a day, and wrote it down, your mind will start to not only make you brilliant at what you do, which you already are, but you'll start to believe it. The rejection one, you might have something better than that, but that's the fact of it, isn't it? People won't reject me. They may just not want what I have. So they're not rejecting me. They're just saying a simple no thank you to that tea or coffee. All successful people fail at times. You have to really get your head around that. You know, any successful business person has failed their way, not completely failed their way to success, but they will definitely have had some failures along the way. I love that one. What people think of me is none of my business. I think that probably came from Steve Critchley or somebody in Utility Warehouse, years ago. But it's absolutely, you know, what people think of me is none of my business, and that absolutely turns it around to say, what does it matter? And then again, the one, I know I am good enough. I know I can do this. I am already successful. And the bottom one, again, I just put that again, I am good enough. I'm brilliant at what I do, because that actually is mostly what this is about. It's about you giving yourself permission to be brilliant and not about that being arrogant as well, because that's the other thing that almost stops us, isn't it? Because we've got this other thing, this other mind monkey that says, oh, I don't want to be too cocky, you know, I don't want to be arrogant. And that, you know, that's a bit of an old-fashioned stiff upper lip British thing, you know, that we don't want to do that. But actually do it. You are brilliant. You can be brilliant. And you've just got to keep telling yourself that. So have you got your 3 bits written down, or do you know what 3 things you're going to tackle? You can play with that. It might not be exactly the affirmation, but I really want you to promise me, if you want to get the most out of this 6 weeks, that if you do nothing else, you'll do this. Because if you do this at least once a day, if not twice a day, you will start to feel differently about yourself. And it's as simple as that sometimes. Okay, so this is going to be your new daily habits from today. We're not going to talk into goals in detail just now. We're going to do that at the end, actually, in a minute, just to sort of get you thinking about that for Monday night. But as part of your daily habit, I would like you to write, you don't have to write all your goals down every single day, or, you know, you don't have to do your whole list. If you're practiced at this, as some of you will be, it will be something that you do probably quite regularly. I doubt if you do it every day. But actually, if you write a goal down every day, now you might find it is your big goal that you want to write down every day if you've got a big something you're working towards, but it doesn't have to be that. It's got to be anything that you want to do or achieve. And if you write something down at least once a day, now I said this before, apparently millionaires write their goals down every day and billionaires do it twice a day. So that's your choice, whether you do it once or twice, depends how much money you want to have, I suppose, doesn't it? And we're not all about money, but it's quite cool. And then your 3 positive affirmations as well. So with goals, affirmations, and then your gratitude as well. Because remember, the things that you focus on, you get more of. So just by doing these 3 steps, you are starting to shift your brain into a space where it will start to bring things to you. Yes, we've got to put the effort in. I'm not forgetting that bit, and we're going to cover that. But this is just to get you off on the right foot. And we need to keep coming back and reminding you about this on the other trainings. And this sort of thing is that's what Monday night's going to be great for. The Monday night will be, well, have you done these 3 things? You know, how are you getting on with just that, even if you're doing nothing else? And then you can start to bring in some other goal setting stuff as well. Okay, have you all got that written down, those 3? Right, so this is your first 10 key steps to success. take a picture of this. We will come back to this on other days as well. So I'm not saying you have to do all of this every day. I've just given you 3 things to do, but I just think that in your step up to success, these things are going to really, really do you well. And I've just got to move this bar because I can't see that one. Just bear with me. Oh, it's not doing it. Sorry, it always does that. Hang on. My Zoom bar is right over there. We go. That's better. Okay, so number 1, that is a big number 1, isn't it? We just talked about that. Stop caring about what other people think of you. Obviously, you want your loved ones, your nearest and dearest, to love you. But when it comes down to your achievements, your business, what you want to do, don't let them stop you if they're not encouraging you. Hopefully they are, but stop caring about what other people think of you. Surround yourself with positive people. I hope this is going to be a positive place for us all to hang out over the next few weeks. Believe you are good enough, because you definitely are. You are. You're definitely good enough to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve if you put some things into practice. Right, managing your emotions is so key. Again, we'll be talking about this as we go through, but being an entrepreneur or being a business owner or having your own business or starting your own business is an absolute roller coaster. It really is a roller coaster. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're running business for yourself, there'll be days that you're flying and you're in flow and it all feels fantastic and nothing can go wrong and everyone says yes. And then there's those days when you really can't seem to do anything right and everybody's complaining and you're trudging through and you're feeling that you're not achieving. All of that's going to happen. So you've got to learn to manage your emotions. You've got to try and keep yourself on a level. So you don't go off into stratosphere with excitement when one thing happens, which is I don't want you to not celebrate, because celebrating is important, but manage your emotions. So when things go really wrong, just take a deep breath and actually take yourself out of the picture for a minute. Try and look at it with somebody else's eyes and ask yourself, is it really bad? Is someone going to die today as a result of that? Now, sorry if any of you are in a position or in work or anything where that might be the case, but most of us, I don't think anyone's actually going to die when we have our bad days in business. It's just about us not feeling the energy, being in the flow. Obviously things go wrong. Things definitely go wrong. But like I said, just try and take a deep breath, try and manage that anxiety that happens sometimes, and trust the process, which is, if you carry on following that momentum that we've gone through and you get your mindset right and you look for your opportunities and you keep sort out your money issues and you keep going with your effort. If you keep going through those stages and trust the process, it will be okay. But you have to keep going. Get back on the horse. I've put that there. Some of you will have heard my talk about being bucked off every day for my first 2 years of riding a pony. And the reason I did that was because I knew that I wanted to event horses. And if I didn't keep getting back on him, that would never happen. So get back on the horse literally means after those bad days, just get back up, dust yourself off and carry on. Because again, the most successful people in business are the resilient ones. They're the ones that don't, yes, you get knocked down, but you get back up pretty quick. And again, not just in business, in life, we all get knocked down, but you need to get back up. Don't let anybody stop you. Obviously, the personal development, I shouldn't say obviously, I'm sure most of you on here are very aware of that, but read or listen to something that helps you grow every single day. It doesn't have to be a lot. Some books you'll read, you won't want to put them down. Other days, you might not feel like it. If you don't really feel like reading, just Google motivational video or something on YouTube. Just listen to something that makes you realize what you're worth and gives you that fire in your belly to get up and do something. I've already said, write down your goals. We've got your affirmations and gratitude on there. Absolutely do not wait to be perfect. Because if you want to wait to be perfect, you're probably waiting a long time. And I don't mean to say that rudely. I just mean that, we're not perfect. None of us are perfect, but we're all good enough. And the bottom one, I don't always get right, but I am trying. And it definitely helps when I get it right, is look after yourself. Being in business, running your own business can be very draining. It can be hard work. It depends on how much you want to work, but there's a lot of effort that goes in. If you don't look after yourself physically, you are going to really struggle. I know Barry will agree with me on this, because Barry's awesome and looks after himself so well and is so fit and well. But part of your daily method of operation, when you're doing your time blocking and batching, please put in there some time for you, some time to exercise, some time to make sure that you're eating healthier. I can't believe how much better I feel from following a much healthier diet over the last month, you know, and it's so simple, but it does really, really make a difference. Okay, right. We all got that. Take a screenshot, whatever, if you want to, if you haven't got them down. But again, you, I can always put these slides together for you as well, if they'd be helpful. Right. Okay, so that's it. So next week we're going to talk about money mindset and blocks, and a bit more about the time blocking. We're going to come back to mindset stuff every week, because it's so important just to see how that's going and see if that's helping as well, some of the stuff we're doing. So I'm just going to come out of the screen share now. See if you're all still awake. Oh, look. Oh, look, you're all still there. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, so just before we come on to questions and answers, your last page on the workbook, and if you didn't print it out, it's just about your goals. So before Monday, what would be really useful would be if you could just get some of that stuff written down before Monday. So we don't have to do that right now. So this is about sort of your next 7 days. So if we go for Monday for 7 days, all right, so you've got the sort of weekend to start thinking about all this stuff. So come on Monday with a goal for your next 7 days from Monday. A goal for the next 6 weeks, so that's sort of between now and the end of the course, something you'd like to achieve while we're actually in this process. Again, it doesn't even have to be business led, you know, this is up to you, this is your life now. So just think of it, because it could be actually, I am going to exercise every day, because that's a good thing and I haven't been doing that. It could be anything, but just come with a goal that you're going to achieve by the end of this course, or start to have got in motion. And then we're going to talk about the end of this year, so that's up until, you know, December the 31st this year. And then let's really think of a stretch goal where you could be by the end of next year. All right, because this is about getting stuff into practice. Interesting thing that I read actually about this whole, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Are you all aware of that? Have you heard that, read that? Apparently it doesn't. It takes 66 days. Sorry to break that to you. I know. I was thinking if we do it for 21 days, that's it. That would be sorted, but it doesn't. It takes 66 days. And we are actually together on this course for 46 days. So I'm hoping 46 days will be long enough to really, and actually the Facebook group will be open for 60. Let's leave the Facebook group open for 66 days. So there we are. So we can, if we get some habits going, by the end of the Facebook group closing, you should be on track. That's quite cool, isn't it? So 66 days to form a habit. So there we are. Brilliant. Okay, so that's it for the training for this evening. I had no idea how long that was going to take, but that's about right, really. And then we've just got time for sort of questions, answers now. If anybody wants to throw anything in, anything that you've thought about through that, or if you've got any questions, please do not be shy. Somebody talk to me, otherwise I'll feel really lonely and sad.
I think, Celia, it's only 30 days to change a habit.
No, it's not, apparently. It's not. Apparently it's 46. 40, what did I just say? 66.
66.
Yeah,
okay.
Apparently it's 66.
Depends how determined you are,
I suppose. I think it depends. I think it's because of the new age of the internet. They've made it longer now. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I heard today somebody say it takes a year of practice as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because we're just talking about changing a habit, not necessarily developing a skill. That's different again, isn't it? Barry, what would you? Yeah, go on, Kate.
Sorry, I was just going to say, when you say write your goals down every single day, are you talking about your 7 days, your 6 weeks, or are you sort of talking about goals that you want to achieve today?
Yeah, well, your daily goals can be anything. So it could be a goal. It could be like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. It could be your big goal. So if you've got a big goal, that every time you write down your goals, you always say that's what would be my end goal. You could write that down every day if that would help. It doesn't matter which goal it is particularly. So it doesn't have to be the same goal every day, because it might be that you come up with something new you want to achieve. And you suddenly think, oh, I'd love to do that. And you're just going to write it down, because what it does is it just starts to trigger your mind to being proactive to things coming into your life. Now, if you've got a very clear big goal, I would suggest you do write that down every day. You know, if it's a simple thing and it's something that's very, very clear in your head, you know, like buy your own house or go, or whatever it could be, whatever. If that was very clear, then I would write that down every day. But what I'm saying is it could be anything, because it could be a new goal. You know, goals change, don't they, all the time? It's just the process of getting your mind into a positive, I want this universe, rather than focusing on anything negative. what that will do is it'll stop you thinking about negative, what you haven't got, and start thinking about what you want and you have got. So the gratitude is to be grateful for what I've got now, because if you're grateful for what you've got now, you'll have more things come into your life that you're grateful for. The goals are about forward thinking, and then obviously the affirmations are just to try and get you feeling more positive and better about yourself, and that you can achieve things better. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Monday we'll talk more about breaking goals down and things, because that, you know, that's obviously there's an absolute skill to achieving goals, and it very much does depend on what that goal is and how far you feel it is in the future, as to how effectively we can start it now, of course. But that's why it'd be nice to have a 6-week one. I think the 6-week one is quite an important one, really, and that could be, I'd just like to feel like this in 6 weeks, or I would like to have done this, you know, consistently. It could be, you could put it into practical terms in your business. I would like to, you know, I want to bring somebody into the team. I want them to get to this level. Be careful though about setting goals that you can't fully control. That's the problem sometimes with the UW business, is that we set a goal of, I want to get to team leader, for example, by this date. You can do all the actions you like, but you cannot guarantee to do that, because it relies on other people as well. So that's where goals can be. So that could be your target, but your absolute goal might be, I will call these people every day. Do you know what I mean? I will make this amount of calls every day, which should then help me achieve that goal.
That's my problem, Celia. Out of all the problems, that I can't guarantee it. That's why I find it difficult making goals, because of family circumstances.
Okay, so you can't guarantee to make the calls, do you mean?
Oh, I'm doing the calls, but that's my big problem, that I've got other issues I have to deal with as well as doing that.
That's fine. Well, maybe you could give yourself the week.
I've made all my calls.
Yeah. No, I know you've been great, but maybe then you could say, well, rather than say it's a daily goal, I will do this amount, you could say over the week, this is my target, and then you'll know there's times you can achieve it and other times that you can't.
Well, I'm keeping up with all my CVs. I'm doing them.
Well done. Oh, well done.
Can I just add to that,
Celia? Not always controllable.
Adam, please do.
All right, so I just wanted to, I've written a lot recently to do with forming healthy habits, because I believe it's important, in order to get that habit into your life, you know, that 66 hours, it's better to do little and often, more than trying to devise some massive plan that then becomes a chore. If you're not careful, it could become a chore, and nobody wants more chores, because I know for a fact that I've got plenty of them already.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
Having a nice manageable habit, that could start with 15 minutes a day. And it's also important not to, because your brain can get a bit annoyed with you if you try and fit too much stuff in, because it'd be like, well, I like to watch telly, or I want to do this, I want to do this, and then you start infringing on the things that are already in your life. So if you do little and often, you sneak it in, and before you know, your brain is on your side, and you're like, that's
brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. Kate just held out the book Tiny Habits, and that's what it is. And that's why you know, these little things that I sort of asked you to do, they might seem like a big thing to you now, but actually they are, like, you know, you don't have to do them all at once. You could write one goal down at some point in the day, and Adam rightly said, you know, do sneak it in there. It really mustn't be a chore, because if it is a chore, absolutely your brain will rebel against it, won't it? And actually you'll end up going the other way as well, and you'll say, I don't want to do that. So it's sort of trusting the process and believing it will work, I suppose, as well.
That's like me with exercise. And in that book, he says that you know, he was rubbish at exercise as well. So he made a goal that every time he had to go to the toilet, he would do one press up.
Brilliant.
And so, like, you know, literally every time he went to the toilet, he had to do a press up. So he snuck it in.
I've got a great link for you, Kate, but I won't say it publicly, because I don't. I can think of something that every time you want to do that, then I think you could do a little a sit up or something. It would definitely work.
Very good at crossing your legs, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. That's awesome. So has that been all right this evening? Have you enjoyed that? Has it given you a bit of food for thought to start with? Because that's the thing, isn't it? So come along on Monday with your goals. So that'll be a bit more of a chit chat, and really it's about that accountability and how do you want to be held accountable as well, because this isn't school. You know, you're all here, you're all volunteers here, so you might not want to be held accountable, but I think if you can think of something that would work for you, you know, whether that is like a WhatsApp group with somebody else or buddying up with one person, or whether it's just okay to check in every Monday, you think that would be enough. I found when I was working with Billy, he's not on it, Billy Williams, about the nutrition thing, when I knew I was having that call with him once a week, that really made me and helped me stay more on track, you know, than if I wasn't, because I wanted to be like teacher's pet. When I spoke to him, I wanted to say I've done this, this and this, and I've done it all right, you know, I've done it. But don't be worried if it doesn't go to plan, because that's what life's all about, isn't it? So if it hasn't gone to plan, then that's fine. We can talk about that as well. So I think you're all in the Facebook group. You all got the email okay today. You're all obviously here, which is great. I'll just need to check in with the people that aren't here. In fact, just bear with me a second if that's okay. And I want to just quickly do a screenshot of everyone that is here. In fact, I'm going to take a photo of you. That's one thing. Do you mind? Smile, everybody. Oh, hang on. Stop working. Give us a smile. Hooray. There we go. I think I've got you all on screenshots. That's fine. I'll just take a picture of the list of participants, so just so that I can check in with those that aren't here and make sure that they did, you know, they're not here because they didn't know about the Zoom link or anything like that. And the recording will be I'll get that up onto YouTube, and that'll go into sort of the Facebook group and on email and things as well. All right, so please feel free, and by the way, you are my pilot lovely guinea pigs. If you find it useful and you do want to pass it on to, you know, your team or some mates, the recording, I don't mind. Say that you'll do that as long as, oh, okay, Julie, that's fine. The email did go out to you because it went out to everybody, but it might have gone into your junk. So just check your junk. Okay, can you message me with your email address again so I can double check that I have got it right on the system, all right, on the mailer light, if that's all right, Julie. So apologies about that.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to share this with anyone, do, but all we ask is that they'll give some sort of feedback and testimony or something, all right, if that's okay. If you want to share it with anybody, then that's fine, and we'll talk about that more as we go through. Brilliant.
Is it the same link on Monday?
No, it won't be, because I set it up separately, but I can use my personal meeting room if that'd be easier for you for Monday, so then it'll be the same link each time. I don't mind doing that. I can do that if that might make it easier for you all. But it's not, so I'll send you one for Monday, and then that will be the same one. You can use that for the rest of the course, Deb. All
Fine.
Right. Yeah, and then that'll be super easy for you all. So that's,
yeah, that's
thank you. Perfect. So go and enjoy the rest of your evenings, and look forward to seeing you all on Monday. All right, so take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Good luck.
Bye.